I have this story when I realized that Ali Riley was different.
Uh-oh. It's not the jacuzzi story.
I'm going to hold the jacuzzi story.
No
we
jacuzzi story.
Sorry about that.
Welcome back to the recap show. You're probably wondering, where is she? But I'm in a little corner because we're doing some renovations, and I hope you all are really excited to see the new spot. Today we are doing something really special, which is honoring my teammate and my friend, Ali Riley. She recently announced that this is going to be her final year playing soccer, and it's a really big deal at Angel City. She's been our captain since our inaugural season, and she's someone who's deeply meaningful to the city of Los Angeles and all of the Angel City fans. Ali has this magnetic way of connecting with people. She makes you smile, and when she plays soccer, I don't think there's a person in the world that cares more. I'll never forget when we won our very first home match, how hard she cried on the field after that game. And I think she is able to show her emotion and be vulnerable in a way that most athletes don't. And it connects her to the community and to all of her teammates. Obviously, Ali's had a few hard years with injury, and she is a person who loves to be around the team. So, rehabbing on her own has taken its toll. And she set herself very reasonable goals for coming back. So at first she set this goal just to be in team training. And that's how she defined coming back. And she came into our first training. Again, the waterworks, because she had worked so hard for that moment. And then the next step was putting on her kit again. And so she made her first roster a couple weeks ago. And it actually changed the whole feeling in the squad. I think the first 2 games that she was on the bench for us, we won. And I don't think that was a coincidence because, she gives the pregame talks. She cares so much. Having her energy just around us all in the locker room and on the pitch, it's really meaningful. And she's the type of player that reminds you every single day in training and on the field how much this matters. I think for me, you get caught a lot in doing this job. You get caught a lot in, I play a game for my job, and it's so hard and it's so stressful and it's so much pressure. And you kind of get caught between feeling like it's so overwhelming and then also trying to find your larger purpose in it. And for me, Ali has been the type of person that reminds you why it's important to do what we do. She's such an ally. She paints her nails rainbow for pride. She shows up for every single cause. And the way that she has met this game has shown us all the meaning that it can have when you do it right and when you play with your heart. So it's going to be a huge loss for the game when we lose Ali Riley. She's going to be dearly missed. But one thing I know for sure is that she's going to stay in this game in a really big way. From media and business, she's so creative. I have no doubt that she's going to continue to push the women's game to new heights. And we'll be lucky to have her in her new capacity. We hope you enjoyed this throwback to season 1 with Ali Riley. We know you love staying up to date on the latest shows, music, and moments. And now there's something new in fitness you need to know about. The Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most elevated piece of equipment yet. With Peloton IQ, you get intelligent strength coaching that actually counts your reps, fixes your form, and tells you when to push harder. It's like having your own personal trainer, but way smarter. And here's the best part. You're never stuck in one routine. With the swivel screen, you can go from running to strength training to stretching, all in one workout. Plus, Peloton IQ builds personalized plans, matching you with classes that help you reach your goals. Each week, it recommends classes with instructors who match your style, so it feels like the plan was designed just for you. And in a way, it is. It's smart, it's fresh, and it's definitely trending. This is more than equipment. The new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus is a tool for transformation. So let yourself run, lift, stretch, push, and go. Check out the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
As promised, we're here with the one and only Allie Riley. Welcome, Allie.
Thank you. My cheeks hurt already from smiling.
We're just getting started. This is going to be fun then.
I missed you too.
And now Christen is going to read your amazing bio.
Oh.
Alexandra Lowe Riley is one of the most beloved football players in the world today. She is the captain of the New Zealand national team and Angel City FC, my team in the NWSL. From 2006 to 2009, Allie played for Stanford University with me and captained the team to 2 NCAA semifinals and an NCAA finals appearance. In 2010, she began her professional club career, playing for teams including the Western New York Flash, Malmö, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, and Orlando Pride, and she's currently with Angel City. Allie has played in 4 Olympic Games and 5 World Cups for New Zealand, which is just incredible. This year, while playing host to the World Cup, Allie captained the New Zealand team to their first ever World Cup victory with a thrilling 1-0 group stage win over Norway. And to top it all off, she's also a published author with her new book, Girls Gone Veg, Plant-Based Recipes by Athletes for Everyone, available everywhere. She's charming, she is talented, and we are so lucky to have her on the recap show. Welcome, Allie!
I think I should leave. Like, it's all downhill from here.
Absolutely not.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, there's some throwbacks in there. I got the full name. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. We have a lot of throwbacks. I feel like we go way back.
We really
do. We are part of the same generations. You guys went to school together.
Pally Blues.
Pally Blues was a big one. I have this story when I realized that Allie Riley was different.
Uh-oh. It's not the jacuzzi story.
I'm going to hold the jacuzzi story.
No jacuzzi story.
Sorry about that. So we played on this semi-pro team, which I don't even know if this is a thing anymore, but we were in college. We all didn't really know each other. We played on the semi-pro team, and we were hanging out one day, and I don't know how this ended up happening, but you were like, hey, you want to come over? And I think I slept over, and you were like, in the morning, you were like, oh, my family's gonna go for a jog. And I was like, oh, and I was like, I didn't really bring running shoes, but it's like her parents and her, so I was thinking to myself, like, okay, so I have some slip-on Vans. How far could we be going, right? It's just a jog. We did like a freaking marathon.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, the Rileys are built different, folks. I mean, we looked at her career, the amount of miles that you put in, the amount of miles that you're going to continue to put in. And I mean, there's no stopping you. I knew right then and there, you all were special.
Okay, first of all, it was the 4th of July 5K.
You did a 5K.
Well, no,
and
you
told her before that it was a 5K. I wouldn't even know the distance of a 5K.
You were schlepping like from the South Bay to the Palisades. So I said you could stay at our house instead of having to, drive so far because we had training the next day. But I was like,
that's what happened.
But we've signed up to run this race. And you say, well, I want to run it. And you had slip-on Vans. And you chose to run it. I was like, I will cancel it. Like, I'll hang out with you. And you're like, no, absolutely. So you kind of like started it. And then you're like, I'll see you at the end. But I went to all the brunches.
Even if I knew, I feel like 5K, it sounds really short. And at that time, I probably didn't know the distance. But also, like, I assumed it would be really slow paced.
Oh no, we play to win.
You guys
we need like the 3 gold medals in all the age groups.
You guys run.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was my first introduction to Allie Riley and her family. Lots of blisters.
I was willing to step out of the race to hang out with you, but you insisted. So I think this story tells more about you, actually.
Oh, wow. I didn't really think when I thought about the story, I didn't think it was going to flip back on me.
Okay, well, this is amazing. You are our first guest that was actually at the World Cup. We have been here this whole time, sitting on this couch, talking about the World Cup. So we would love to hear from you. Set a scene. What was it like? What were the highs and lows? You had an emotional journey, and we would just put us there, put us and this whole, all the viewers at the World Cup with you.
To go back there. I have to say, I'm the first one back because we did get knocked out early. But, going into it, something I've been waiting for 4 years, 3 years since we found out that New Zealand would be one of the hosts. And I've been waiting 16 years to win a game at a World Cup.
Wow.
And, I think about this and we don't have to go too far into this, but when I see kind of the negative comments about teams like the US, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what they've achieved, and people are negative about that, like, oh my gosh, it's a lot of opinions, but, we had this build up from last year, a lot of camps in New Zealand, could see that people were getting excited about it, but I wasn't sure if the games would be sold out, if we could ever break the attendance records. Having 12,000 people when we played the US in January is very different than hoping for 40,000+ for a World Cup. And you're seeing these records, the sales going on in Australia, and just like, I don't know what this is going to be like. And in the team, and I was feeling a lot of pressure just to get this win, to kind of felt like a pivotal moment where we had to kind of save the program. And I'm not saying it's as dire as that, but it really felt like this is this time where you see the sport growing so much globally. And we've really seen that in this World Cup with teams getting their first wins. And these are teams, it's their first World Cup and getting their first win. It's our fifth. And so it's like, it feels like the pool, the teams, it's all like the gap's getting smaller, but are we really going to be left behind here?
Yeah.
And this is a once in a lifetime chance to have a home World Cup. We have to get this win. And then, we have our psychologist and we have our mentors, and we're saying, like, we can't have that pressure. Like, we don't have to win, but we have to play in a way that shows who we are and our identity. And, we're telling ourselves, like, if little girls see us play with heart and grit and purpose, and we talk about what's important to us and how we want to honor the players that came before us and inspire the next generations. If we are motivated by that, then we can win. And if we don't, like, we can still make this really big impact. You don't want to dare like put everything into winning. Like, and again, I know other teams, other environments, other cultures are different, but for us, like, it was so much about purpose and connection in the team and doing something bigger than ourselves. So when not a lot of people know this. I don't know if anyone outside the team knows this. But
can't wait.
We were so late to the game.
What? The first game?
The first game. So there was such bad traffic. And
Did people not know it was the World Cup?
They were all going.
Yeah. Like your team coordinator?
Well, so there was no police escorts. And I guess there weren't police escorts in New Zealand. And there was a route when I'm assuming someone was like checking Google Maps, and it said
you guys were on Waze.
Yeah, we're in Ubers. No, so I think what the map said was like the appropriate amount of time, but FIFA directed, this is what I've heard, directed the bus to go a particular way or route in order to enter the stadium a certain way, and that doubled the time.
Oh my gosh!
So we have our physios taping ankles on the bus.
Oh my God.
There's so much traffic. And so the bus driver is gassing, braking. Like, we're like car sick. Like, and then someone starts thinking of Pitch Perfect. And when they're on that road trip and then they're like, start singing.
Do you know?
No. Okay, well, I'll send you the scene. Anyways, so someone's like, zoom, 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 zoom,
oh,
zoom,
yeah,
zoom. And so we start
each
singing. Like, you could never even write this. So we're singing. Players are getting strapped on the bus. We get there. Yeah, you would have been. You would have gone out and run, or like
she would have protested and been like,
I would have been in a deep meditation
game.
pretending that I wasn't on the bus.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been zooming.
No, I wouldn't have been doing a cappella.
It was just this crazy moment, And you wanted me to set the scene.
Oh my God, you're setting the scene. I'm sweating here. I'm like so upset.
and I mean, it is just red lights. All you see is just tail lights, red lights. And we can see the stadium. We're getting closer and closer. And so then the funniest part was we were saying like, we need a police escort. And so we finally get to a red light and then you hear like, woo, 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 woo. And we're like, oh my God, the police escort. And so then it was just like, oh my God, it reminded me of that like song on like TikTok and stuff where it's like, da-da-da-da-da, and then it fades out. And we're like, no. And so then we make this left-hand turn, just completely stop. It was like a parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
So we finally get there and we pull in and we see that Norway is in the same boat. So that was at least a little bit like, okay, well, we're both in this situation. They're not like out warming up.
But you should have been.
Oh yeah,
at that point you should have been.
Okay, so we get in there, 13 minutes to warm up.
No.
And I have to do like mobs on my hips.
Yeah.
And I have to get cups on my calves and like put atomic bomb over my whole body. And
get ready for
usually
war
I like
as a
to go to the restroom.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had like
Oh
my
my
hair
gosh.
down.
No, I
like,
couldn't
nothing.
play. I couldn't play.
So,
No.
so
That's a hazard.
I'm on the table.
Yeah.
Like getting my calves done.
Yeah.
3 minutes. Hair down. I'm not even in our warm-up kit. So everyone's like,
So this is what it takes to win a first World Cup
yes.
game.
So this one, we should have done this again the next 2 games, obviously. So no, we get out there and everyone just was like locked in. Like no one complained. They did have to wait for me because I did have to go to the bathroom. So everyone was like there waiting to go out and they're like, let her go to the bathroom.
I love this.
So then we run out and everyone is cheering
nice.
and people were giving out poise and so they're swinging the poise and it was completely packed.
What is poise?
So a poi is traditionally,
poi.
it's filled with, it's like made with flax and it has, it's what women, it's a traditional Maori art form, something that is very, very cultural. But a lot of those things have been lost, of course. So people know the haka, but poi and the art of poi is, you know, deeply ingrained in Maori culture. And as one of the kind of campaigns for this World Cup in New Zealand was FIFA paid local businesses to make the poi. And they weren't traditional ones made out of flax. They were like plastic and that had like pillow stuffing in them. But every single one has a braid, like a long braid. And someone has hand done that and like put their love and like their spirit into that, and then they distributed them. So I think they distributed a couple thousand
So cool.
around the stadiums.
I love that.
And so, you know, there's very beautiful, amazing moves that you do with them. But of course, just, you know, swinging them is really cool. So, you know, they had a whole thing and people are swinging their poi. And it was just packed. It was packed and it was supposed to be bad weather. It was beautiful. It was clear. Yeah, and then we just played. We were so organized. We were so confident. From the first minute, we were just so confident.
You played so brave. You did not play like you had the pressure of your country. You played so inspired.
Or a 10-minute warm-up.
Or a 10-minute warm-up. Like the visual I have is like you, like as a backline, stepping in and winning balls and like sprinting forward and people like running with the ball. And we were, you know, first game that we watched up in the night, we were so like energetic and we could just
We're massive Ali Riley fans too.
feel the joy of that match and to think it came and those
it was so well deserved.
I know. I like, haven't even talked about this. I think I've told my parents. I know I told Lucas, but like it was so like, and it was right at the beginning. And so then, you know, all these other things happened, but that was...
Well, one thing is you were definitely more prepared for that debacle than Norway, so...
Right. And they didn't come out as early. I think they gave the players a little more time to kind of get together, which I understand, but that meant their warm-up was shorter.
Yeah. Nobody talks about that stuff. It's so refreshing to hear just like a realistic version of what a World Cup's like. Because we just see like, you know, the movie version.
It looks like a movie.
You know?
It totally did.
Yeah, it was wild.
And honestly, the game was a movie for you all. It was so beautiful to watch. I mean, that's what makes hosting a World Cup so special, right?
Yes. And you know, I think of course we didn't win another game after that. We had 4 points. We couldn't get out of the group, but the impact that game had, and having the Prime Minister and the former Prime Minister, you know, Jacinda, who I've followed and been a fan of for so long, and to have them come into the locker room and, you know, where someone just had a water bottle and was like spraying them with the water bottle. I was kind of like, oh my gosh. But they were just all smiles, and Jacinda's crying, and just and what she said after that game, which I think helped me a lot, was, You've done it. You have changed. Oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional. I always do. You know I always do. You've changed the country, and you've changed the world. And now nothing else matters. Go out and enjoy the rest of this tournament, because you have done it. And just to have that kind of, obviously joy, but relief, of course. I mean, for some of us players who've been, 16 years trying to have this and to have it happen at home. And also just the former Ferns who were there. And I mean, we're talking, from so many years ago to just 4 years ago to a year ago, players who didn't make the team. They're crying, they felt it. And to have my former teammates say, that was my favorite football Ferns game, my favorite New Zealand national team game, when they weren't even on the field. That was what we wanted, for them to feel like we were playing with them and for them. And I think just the messages we got from all over the country, all over the world, it did feel like we did what we had set out to do. And that was one of our 3 goals, to inspire the nation, to win our first game, and to get out of the group. So I think we didn't do all of them, but
Wow. I mean, it's fantastic. And I believe that you have this will. You have such a strong will in you. I really think you could will anything to happen. It makes me honestly, I felt the same way in Angel City's home opener. It's the will of Ali Riley to make something happen. And it comes with somebody that does take a lot of pressure. Take us back to, we just heard what it was like 2023. What was it like in the beginning, and how much has it grown?
Oh my gosh. I think, we were just happy to be there, kind of. And I think that was the first World Cup where there was prize money. 2007.
Wow.
But I'm not sure if we got any, since, of course, we didn't get out of the group. But there was no idea that, you would get any financial benefit from any of this. Players were not playing professionally. So this was, you worked really hard to get to this tournament. And I was in college. We did have a couple professional players in Europe, but otherwise players were just in camps in New Zealand. And there was a lot of reflection about that actually this time around. And then you go play this tournament, and then you kind of retire, or you're back in camps in New Zealand and hoping to make the Olympic team in 2008. And then again, after that, maybe you get some interest where you can go to a club, leave everything, everyone in New Zealand, to go somewhere, or you retire, which players did, or you go on studying and just going to camp in New Zealand. And, it's not a professional league. This is just, you kind of play recreationally and hope to be doing well enough that you get chosen for the next time around. And so now I think one of the biggest differences, we can talk a lot about prize money and fans and attendance and viewership, but in China there were a lot of people. We played China, and there were 60,000 plus people there, so that was more than in New Zealand. Of course, it's very different when they're cheering for the other team. It's the same. I played the U.S. in front of many people. They're not cheering for my team. But I think what our lives look like year round now is so different. And I'm so happy for that. And we do have a long way to go in terms of the conditions, especially globally. But I think that with some of these teams getting their first wins, seeing the progress of Colombia, of Jamaica, even New Zealand, I think it will change it even more. I think having FIFPro, just, this global union, helping players, hearing our voices, pushing for change, able to have those communications with FIFA to say, look, things need to be better. We need to increase prize money. But for players now to be earning money in their professional careers and going to a World Cup, of course, there's nothing like representing your country and playing a World Cup, but it doesn't end there. You then can go to your team and continue your life. It's a
full career.
You can be a footballer. And that's what we've seen in men's sports and men's soccer for so long. And compared to 2007, I would say most of the countries in this World Cup, it's very different than we would have seen. Of course, Germany and Sweden. I think Italy have had leagues for a long time, but the rest of us, definitely not.
Yeah.
So that really struck me. And you can see with the quality, you can see with the confidence. And then, of course, there's the sponsorship and the financial part of it. But just, knowing that when you go home from a tournament like that, like, life is able to continue.
The last decade, like, I can't even believe how much change that we've been able to see. And I feel like there's a special bond with our generation of players, like, globally, because we've all been a part of this fight. And, like, how cool is it to have kind of a global fight where we, like, play against each other, but we're all in this together. And when I think of your career in particular, like, I see you as, like, in the trenches. Like, you're not always the first one where, you know, the U.S. women's national team gets credited with so much of the fight and all, like, the stardom of that. But you've played internationally, you've played in the United States, you're always in the conversation, you're pushing the game forward, like, with every action, you're leading your team, you're captaining, you're dealing with, like, fighting with your club, fighting with your federation just to, like, get by. And
all while flying economy
across the globe. And my question is for you is because, like, I perceive that from you, like, you do it with a smile. And so many of us,
smile.
and so it's sometimes you get just frustrated and like, we're all, like, jaded in a way. Like, the fight is hard, but my question is, like, you care so much. You care so much about every single time. Honestly, every single time Angel City wins, you cry. Every single time New Zealand wins, you cry. I'm like, the girl has got a lot of tears. She cares so much.
I'm hydrated.
You're hydrated. But it's like you put so much passion into everything you do. So, like, how do you fight the good fight for so long with a smile on your face?
I think you touched on something that would actually have been my second thing I would have said about what's changed. And it feels like a collective. When you mentioned the U.S. women's national team, players like yourselves, I never feel like I'm going at it alone. And, you know, after games, of course, I'm a Scorpio, like, I'm emotional, and I'm nearing the end of my career, so everything just, you know, feels
too much.
And I feel just so lucky to still be playing, having seen the growth of the game and still be a part of it. You know, I have so many friends and former teammates that have not been able to enjoy where the game is now, and especially at a club like Angel City, I feel so lucky, and I think with FIFPro, with social media, you know, it can be a very, very dark place, but it also has connected all of us, or media in general. And so,
shout out to social media for good.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Absolutely.
It's so true.
And I think for us women, you say it feels like this global fight. And I just love everybody, and I'm, like, such a hype woman. So it's hard. When I'm playing, I'm locked in. I just want my team to win. But, you know, I'm watching other games and I hear these stories and these narratives and girls, you know, these women getting their first goal, the first win. You know, I want to root everyone on because it feels like we're all in it together, kind of fighting something or someone else.
Yeah.
It is a collective. And so almost every one of those wins is a win for us because we're part of this. And it's the same, you know, when I see the investment that the U.S. team put in, you know, they're also in Auckland, and seeing obviously the huge disparity in terms of what their preparation could look like and what their training facility could look like, their hotel setup, everything. But I'm like, good for them.
Yeah.
This is amazing, you know? And I think when I'm very outspoken about these things, of course, there's probably, I think we've kind of gone over the hump now, but there is a time where it's like there's jealousy, there's thinking like, oh, well.
Scarcity, right?
Yes.
That's what it is.
And it is when you're kind of put against men's sports and you're fighting for a very small pie, then, you know, there can be tension there. But I think the way I approach it, and I think more and more players are seeing this, is like, yes, good for them. Let's also, you know, fight for that. That is the standard. And seeing investment going into other leagues. And I think what Angel City has done well is we've had this investment, we have this brand, and we're not saying like, you know, look at us, we want to be the only one. We want to be, you know, this special one. It's like, no, other clubs do this too. Other leagues do this too.
Yeah.
Lift everybody up. And so I think, for me, I never feel alone. And especially when I think about other players, what they're going through. You know, I grew up in Pacific Palisades. I went to Stanford. I didn't have a full ride. My parents were able to support me to go to that college. That, you know, kickstarted a lot for me. I have dual citizenship, could play for this national team. That's given me so much. I've had so much privilege. I'm white passing. I'm straight. Like, I have so much privilege in my life. And so why not smile? Like, I have so much to smile about, and I have so much energy, and I can fight these things and say these things and do these things. I'm protected, especially now having the backing of a club like Angel City that shares my values. I have a platform. And so I don't know, it honestly feels like it gives me this like boundless, limitless energy. And I am just genuinely happy. So
it really shows.
It's so inspiring.
It really shows, and it's really inspiring. I mean, both of us get to be around it, and it's infectious. I think you lift up all your teams that you're on to a whole nother level. You lifted up your whole country during the World Cup. It was really, really special. But for this show in general, we shared a bit about what it means, creating these new structures, using your platform for this progress, this equity that we're trying to put in the world. What does that look like? What's that next fight? What's that next step in this process?
Oh my gosh, I feel like if we knew, it would be easier.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can change anything if we go at it alone. But I do think if we come together to demand change, it's very hard to be ignored. And so I hope that if we talk kind of near future, that we can use the resources we have to kind of do a debrief and connect on what our experiences were and what we need so that the next World Cup is even better. What do we need to see in the next 4 years? And we still haven't had an official kind of commitment to equal prize money for 2027. That's something that we absolutely need to see. Because the change, the information around the positive reaction information around us getting to, I think it's still only about 25%, but there was a lot of media attention on that. And I think you could see this is the most attended and watched World Cup. The quality is there. I think the players are really doing everything we can do. But it's like, how can we come together now from all over the world to demand change so that it's even better? Prize money is one part of it, but I think if we're empowered to go back to our clubs, to our federations, there are some clear messages that my team wants to give back to our federation around not just our World Cup experience, but the last 4 years. And then this is now what we need to see for the next 4 years. And part of that is very scary, but I think now we are at a place where we should feel empowered. Because even if players don't feel necessarily supported by their federation, there are now unions and the global union. And I do think we're connected enough in a way. And, you know, players like yourselves, former players who have even bigger platforms. And, you know, like I say, it's to advocate for someone else, like a community that you're not a part of, can actually sometimes be even more powerful. So I'm like, I'm willing to go up to bat for the Jamaican team or the Nigerian team. We're looking at what they're going through right now. And especially coming to the end of my career, it's like, I don't have that much to lose. And I have a platform. I have friends like you that have even bigger platforms. And it's like, no, we're going to fight together. So kind of back more specifically what you're asking, I think that will be asking the players, what do you need? What do we need? And then let's get together and demand it.
This month is National Women's Small Business Month. And as a business owner myself, let's take a moment to celebrate the over 11 million women who own and run small businesses in the US. That's a huge accomplishment. And honestly, running a business takes grit. But let's be real. Being a business owner isn't easy. You're balancing your work, your life, and if you need to hire new people, that can feel overwhelming. That's why we love ZipRecruiter over here at Rate. It makes hiring simple so you can find the right person fast. Their powerful matching technology gets to work right away, showing you the most qualified candidates for your role. And you can even see instantly how many job seekers in your area are a match. It takes so much of the stress out of the process. Hire the right people for your business with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employees who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/recap. Again, that's ziprecruiter.com/recap. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Allie, congratulations on an incredible career. I hope you all enjoyed that look back. We are going to be back next week with a new episode and a new look, and we can't wait to see you.